mas pinalakas na pagbabalita, komentaryong walang mintis, iba't ibang entertainment. Radyo natin to! Radyo natin to!
Garma says ex-President Duterte instructed Davao drug war reward system to be implemented in entire of the Philippines in 2016. Harry Roque's wife cited in contempt by House Quadcom, arrest order issued. Alice Go alias Madame Hua reports to Pogo Big Boss Liu Dong. Well, not friends at all. Marcos says he felt deceived by Vice President Duterte. The U.S. government drops trafficking, money laundering raps versus Kibuloy co-defendant after guilty plea, the DOJ says. Quadcom Solon sick to define EJ case as heinous crime. In sports, PBA suspends Batang Pierre's Jan Amores for one conference after shooting incident. And in entertainment, voice of Japan's beloved robot cat Sir Raymond dies. This and more on Newsline Weekend. Good morning, I'm Raymond Kaibigan. Newsline Weekend begins right now. And for those of you watching on Facebook and on YouTube, glad you could join us. Topping the weekend news, Garma says ex-President Duterte instructed Davao drug war reward system to be implemented in the Philippines in 2016. Retired police colonel and former PCSO General Manager Royima Garma confirmed that ex-President Rodrigo Duterte instructed that the Davao model reward system that pays officers for killing drug suspects be implemented nationwide. In a sworn statement delivered tearfully at the House of Representatives Quad Committee on Friday, Garma said Duterte called her in 2016 to ask for connections to officers who could implement the said model. He requested that I locate a Philippine National Police officer or operative who is a member of the Iglesia de Cristo, indicating that he needed someone capable of implementing the drug war on a national scale, replicating the Davao model, she said. According to Garma, the Davao model involves 3 levels of payment or rewards. First is the reward if the suspect is killed. Second is the funding of planned operations. Third is the refund of operational expenses, she added. The former police executive said she did not know any individual with those qualifications, but remembered her upperclassman, National Police Commissioner, NAPOLCOM Commissioner Edilberto Leonardo. Garma said she gave Leonardo's contact details to one individual named Muking and later on learned that Leonardo was also summoned by Duterte. Leonardo informed me that he stayed at the hotel for 3 days, during which the president directed him to organize a task force, she said. Leonardo relayed this information and urged me to join the task force. I declined, citing my lack of experience in handling such operations, she added. In a previous hearing, Leonardo and Garma were accused by a PNP officer of ordering the killing of fellow PCSO official and former Police General Wesley Barayuga in 2020. In the affidavit, Garma said Leonardo conducted briefings for PIDEA, the PNP intelligence group, regional directors, and PNP chiefs to explain operations. Additionally, if any individual died during police operations, Leonardo reported the incident to Bongo for inclusion in his weekly report and requests for refunds of operational expenses, she said. Garma also admitted to facilitating all meetings between Leonardo and Go in the initial 3 months of Leonardo's assignment. He conveyed that the task force would be structured differently and that he submitted the document to Bongo detailing the task force's operations, including an overview of the current drug landscape in the Philippines, she said. The House panel has repeatedly invited Duterte and Go to attend the hearings looking into the illegal drug trade, but both refused to attend. In other news, Harry Roque's wife cited in contempt by House Quadcom, arrest order issued. The House of Representatives Quad Committee on Friday ruled to cite in contempt and issue a warrant of arrest against Myla Roque, the wife of the former palace official Harry Roque, for repeatedly snubbing the lower chamber's hearings. During the 8th joint hearing, Myla was absent again despite a show cause order issued during the previous session. Abang Lingkod Representative Joseph Stephen Paduano moved to cite her for contempt, followed by Antipolo Representative Romeo Acop's motion to issue an arrest order. The committee noted that Myla had only submitted medical certificates, which were previously deemed insufficient by the panel. She is listed as an incorporator of Lucky South 99, an illegal Philippine offshore gaming operator hub in Porac, Pampanga. She is also allegedly the signatory on the lease contract of a house in Tuba, Benguet, where 2 Chinese nationals involved with POGO operations were arrested. Meanwhile, Harry Roque remains at large and is facing arrest after being cited for contempt by the same committee in September for refusing to submit documents related to his sudden increase in wealth. The Bureau of Immigration confirmed that while Roque is not subject to a whole departure order, he is on their watch list. The former Duterte cabinet official also remains active on social media and maintained that he is not a fugitive. In the Pogo Fiasco probe, Alice Go alias Madame Hua reports to Pogo Big Boss Liu Dong. Embattled ex-mayor Alice Guo, who is also allegedly called Madame Hua, reports updates on Pogos to alleged big boss Liu Dong, a source revealed on Friday. The source, who agreed to go on video for RNT, confirmed Guo's ties to Liu Dong, who also used the name Lin Shunhan and is given the alias Boss Boga. Di ko po siya kilalang mayor, iba po yung pagkakakilala ko sa kanya kasi ang alam ko po is siya si Madame Hua, the source said. Noong nagkaroon po sila ng transaction ni Boss Boga, na which is na-encounter ko, so alam ko po tao siya ni Boss Boga, it added. The source also said that Liu Dong is involved in human trafficking and the illegal drug trade. It also claimed that the alleged Pogo godfather is part of the reported torture, murder, and burying of victims in their illegal operations. Liu Dong was arrested in Binyan, Laguna on Thursday evening after months of surveillance operations. According to the PAOK report, seen by Radyo Natin To, Dong started his operations in 2016 and expanded it nationwide, gaining him the tag How or Boss of Boss and placing him in the position among the ranks of notorious Pogo kingpins. He arrived in Manila 9 years ago when he was 26 years old. PAOK Executive Director Yusek Gilbert Cruz said Liu Dong will soon be facing charges of qualified human trafficking, a non-bailable offense. In other news, not friends at all, Marcos says he felt dismayed and deceived by Vice President Duterte. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. spoke up about his strained relationship with his former ally, Vice President Sara Duterte, who has previously said they are not friends despite being running mates in the 2022 polls. Marcos was asked by reporters by Friday to describe their current relationship. He responded, "I'm a little dismayed to hear that she doesn't think that we are friends. I always thought that we were, but maybe I was deceived." The chief executive explained that he decided not to designate Duterte as the caretaker, a usual task for vice presidents, while he is in Laos PDR for the ASEAN summit since she resigned from the cabinet almost 4 months ago. "It's unfair to impose that duty on her since it's not part of her work," she said. Duterte stepped down as the Secretary of the Department of Education in June, refusing to give or to even give an explanation to Marcos. But in the lead up to the resignation, the political tension between the president and his predecessor, Rodrigo Duterte, has been increasing. The vice president later said that she never built a friendship with Marcos, who both ran under the Uniteam Alliance. Coming up next on Newsline Weekend. U.S. government drops trafficking and money laundering raps versus Kibuloy's co-defendant after guilty plea, the DOJ says. The Quadcom salons seek to define EJ case as heinous crime. In sports, PBA suspends Batang Pierre's John Amores for one conference after shooting incident. And in entertainment, a voice of Japan's beloved robot cat, Sir Raymond, dies. More news coming our way when Newsline Weekend returns. We will be right back after the break.
Shemalin. Hapon na mukhang fresh ka pa din. Ay, baho lang ng anit.
Mabahong anit? Mag-new Head and Shoulders every day. Para kahit malapit, fresh ang anit.
Shemalin, fresh ka na sa hapon man o sa malapitan.
New Head and Shoulders for 100% dandruff-free hair. No visible flakes with regular use.
Hello, Washi! Laundry day na naman!
Yay! Anong meron?
Mancha ng chocolate, putik, may libag pa.
Kaya natin yan! With Pride Washing Machine Detergent, may triple stain away formula. Tanggal ang mahapit, madikit, at madupis na tunog mancha. Kaya easy-easy ang lavada.
Mula noon, hanggang ngayon.
All you need is pride. All you need is pride. Easy as sky na everyone. Iwan ang distraction. Magic ang guideline. Mag-focus sa moments with friends. Sarap ng sama-samang litrato. Dala ng Coca-Cola. Tawanan at kwento. Walang maiiwan sa banding. Buhos lang ang puso. Coca-Cola at kanin. Kaya na everyone. Every day sa bahay, daming activities. Kaya breakfast pa lang, give them champion energy.
Want Milo breakfast every day. Milo breakfast every day.
Help jumpstart your day with a balanced diet, healthy lifestyle, and an energized, nutritious breakfast with Milo. May winning combination of milk, champion energy nutrients, at choco multi-sarap.
Want Milo breakfast every day. Milo breakfast every day. Healthy jumpstart your day. Milo every day. Isa, dalawa, tatlo.
Sinong mananalo?
4, 5, 6.
Fix na nga natin.
Vicks Vaporub, nagbibigay ginhawa mula sa 6 na simptomas ng sipon.
Pitang walang siya, mabuti ng pakiramdam.
Vicks VapoRub is available in Pure Gold stores nationwide. Visit your nearest branch now. I-Vicks na nga natin. Mabuti ng pakiramdam. Camphor plus menthol plus eucalyptus oil is the generic name of Vicks VapoRub. If symptoms persist, consult your doctor.
Ngayon, everything starts from the home. Stay at home, work from home, school from home. Buti na lang, lagi namin kasama ang sarap na at home sa aking pamilya. Gardenia.
Dahil ang gardenia bread, laging masarap, mabango, malambot, masustansya, at freshly baked every day.
Kaya kami mag-anak, ngayong stay at home, laging may gardenia sa bahay. Tara, let's bagets! Gardenia time!
Gardenia, laging kasama.
Sa mga millennials at young at heart, bagay na bagay sa inyo ang MX3 Plus. May CoQ10 at may L-carnitine. Sabayan pa ng workout at healthy diet. Kayang ma-achieve ang good health. Mag-MX3 Plus araw-araw para M-Extraordinary. Mahalagang paalala, ang MX3 capsule ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Kapag kintab na sahig ang pag-uusapan, dito na tayo sa number 1. Star Wax Floor Wax. Kintab ay to the max.
Halos malinis ng sahig ko ng kending tayo mga misis. Kapag kintab na pag-uusapan, dito na tayo sa number 1. Mag-Star Wax Wax, Star Wax Wax. Yan ang kintab na to the max, max, max.
Star Wax ang number 1 floor wax. May waterproof formula. Buhusan mo ng tubig, balikintab ang sahig.
Star Wax Wax, Star Wax Wax.
Star Wax, di amoy gas.
Star Wax ang number 1 kintab na to the max.
Star Wax ang number 1 floor wax. Gawa ng ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified world-class quality.
ACS.
Shield Bath Soap. Galit sa sakit at may malasakit. Ang Shield Bath Soap ay recommended ng Philippine Nurses Association.
Di biro maging nurse, dapat marunong sa sakit at marunong mag-alaga. Yun bang may malasakit? Kaya madating sa baso, hanap ko tulad ko, lalo't may pamilya ko.
Kaya ang gamit ko, Shield Bath Soap. Galit ito sa sakit, nagdulot ng germs. May antibacterial na pareho ng sa leading brand. At may malasakit sa skin dahil may Shea Butter Moisturizer. May malasakit din sa budget dahil super affordable. Kaya naman recommended ito ng Philippine Nurses Association.
Shield galit sa sakit, may malasakit.
Shield Bath Soap, manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation.
ACS.
You're still tuned in to Radyo Natin To Newsline Weekend. I'm Raymond Kaibigan. The U.S. government drops trafficking and money laundering raps versus Kibuloy's co-defendant after guilty plea, the DOJ says. U.S. prosecutors agreed to drop charges against Marisa Dueñas, a co-defendant of doomsday preacher Apollo Kibuloy, after she pleaded guilty to human trafficking, money laundering, and forced labor cases. According to the Department of Justice statement, the U.S. prosecutors agreed to only dismiss Dueñas' charges, while raps for other co-accused, including Kibuloy, will be retained. All the charges against all other defendants remain pending, and trial is tentatively scheduled to begin on May 20, 2025, the DOJ stated. Dueñas, a human resources manager for Kibuloy's mega church Kingdom of Jesus Christ in Van Nuys, earlier pleaded guilty to the conspiracy charges to defraud the U.S. in exchange for a reduced sentence. The 16-page plea bargain agreement from the U.S. Attorney's Office showed Dueñas admitting to helping KOJC facilitate up to 100 sham marriages to evade U.S. immigration laws. A document said KOJC arranges marriages between its Filipino members to some U.S. citizen members as a scheme to maintain their immigration status. A date for Dueñas' plea agreement hearing has yet to be announced. Kibuloy is on the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation's most wanted criminals list due to sex trafficking, child exploitation, conspiracy fraud, and coercion, and bulk cash smuggling. In local courts, Kibuloy and his co-accused pleaded not guilty to charges of qualified human trafficking and sexual abuse. Despite being detained in Camp Crame for mounting criminal raps, the self-appointed son of God is currently vying for a Senate seat in the 2025 midterm polls. In other news, Quadcom Solons seek to define EJKs as heinous crime. Lawmakers leading the House Investigation on Extrajudicial Killings, or EJKs, filed a bill seeking to define and penalize the crime of extralegal executions as a heinous crime to ensure accountability. The chairpersons and members of the House of Representatives Quadcom Committee said House Bill number 10986 aims to explicitly criminalize EJK and strengthen the legal framework for investigation, prosecution, and punishment to those responsible for the illegal acts. The lack of accountability for such crimes contributes to a culture of impunity where perpetrators believe they can act without fear of legal consequences, a document read. It also states that any superior military police or law enforcement officer or senior government official who issued an order to any lower-ranking personnel to commit an extrajudicial killing for whatever purpose shall be equally liable as principals. Heinous crimes are punishable by life imprisonment or 20 to 40 years in prison. The bill was filed ahead of the 8th hearing of the Quadcom on Friday. The bill's authors are listed as Representative Don Gonzales, J.J. Suarez, Ace Barbers, Benny Abante, Dan Fernandez, Joseph Stephen Paduano, Romeo Acop, Johnny Pimentel, Jervil Luistro, Ramon Rodrigo Gutierrez, Francisco Paulo Ortega, Jefferson Congun, and Jonathan Keith Flores. In sports, PBA suspends Batang Pierre's John Amores for one conference after shooting incident. The PBA suspended Northport Batang Pierre guard John Amores for the entire 49th season Commissioner's Cup without pay after his shooting incident. In a statement on Friday, the league said Amores' actions are not consistent with the standard of behavior and image that the PBA wishes to protect or project to fans, particularly to its younger followers. The potential for young people to see Amores' court or conduct as acceptable is disturbing, and this the PBA will not permit, the league added. In September, Amores allegedly fired at a certain league Cacalda after a heated exchange during a ball game in Laguna. Charged with attempted homicide, Amores will be allowed to join the Batang Pierre in practices, but will be prohibited from attending all games. The PBA said Amores should undergo counseling to address his anger and violent tendencies and obtain clearance from his counselor before he is allowed back in the court. Isolating him from his normal environment will not be helpful and healthy for this rehabilitation or his rehabilitation. He must learn to deal with his issues under as normal circumstances as possible, the league said. And finally, in entertainment, the voice of Japan's beloved robot cat Sir Raymond dies. A Japanese actor who was the voice of the Raymond, a cartoon cat robot beloved by children in Japan and other countries, has died, her agency said Friday. Nobuyo Oyama was 90. For a quarter of a century until 2005, Oyama lent her endearing hoarse voice to the titular blue felon from the 22nd century with his magic pocket and its supply of fantastical gadgets, including a door that lets you travel anywhere. She passed away on September 29 due to old age, her talent agency told Radyo Natin To. Her funeral was attended by close relatives, it said. Doraemon is still on air as one of the longest-running Japanese anime series, popular across Asia and further afield. While Oyama's successor has played the role for nearly 2 decades, her voice remains the definitive sound of the robot for many who grew up hearing it. In Doraemon, the cuddly robot cat with his huge smile travels back in time to help a lazy schoolboy called Nobita overcome the trials of everyday life. Created by the artist Fujiko F. Puhiyo, the character first appeared in manga strips in 1969, making the transition to the small and big screen over the following decades. A quick roundup of today's headlines. Garma says ex-President Duterte instructed Davao drug war reward system to be implemented in the Philippines in 2016. Harry Roque's wife cited in contempt by House Quadcom. Arrest order issued. Alice Go alias Madame Hua reports to Pogo Big Boss Liu Dong. Well, not friends at all. Marcos says he felt dismayed and deceived by Vice President Duterte. The U.S. government drops trafficking and money laundering raps versus Kibuloy's co-defendant after guilty plea, the DOJ said. Quadcom Solons seek to define EJ case as heinous crime. In sports, PBA suspends Batang Piedras Jana Mores for one conference after shooting incident. And in entertainment, the voice of Japan's beloved robot cat, the Raymond, dies. And those are the stories making headlines today, October 12, 2024. For Newsline Weekend, I'm Raymond Kaibigan. Keep it here on Radyo Natin To. Usapang Popcorn is up next. Good morning.
Mas pinalakas na pagbabalita, komentaryong walang mintis, iba't ibang entertainment. Radyo natin to! Radyo natin to!